it's now your turn. So, I have in my bag, somebody has to collect that one. Now you see, these are very soft. I can't throw them very far. So I actually have some of these. And I think that's the only one I've got. I should really take my jacket off to do this, but let's have a look. Oh, very good. See if I can get one. No. Anybody laughing at my age about that? I hope not. One more try. Oh! Okay. So could you just put your hand up if you have a ball? So, these are the 4 generations in the workplace. Could you tell me which one of the 4 generations you belong to? I don't need your date of birth. Just which of the generations? Do you belong to this one? This one? This one? So by a process of elimination, this one. This one? Are any of these not true about you? Not true. Which one? Do you respect authority? Are you conservative and consistent? Would your wife say that? Do you prefer top-down decision-making? No. Okay, then this is the learning point. This gentleman is from this generation. One of these things that we all know are true about traditionalists of that generation is inaccurate. So what we all know is wrong. Sir, are there any of these that describe you? Are you loyal to an organization? The 2 people on either side of this gentleman are nodding their heads. I'm going to let them answer for you. So straight away, one of these that we all know is wrong, and one of these that's actually about a different generation is right. So what we know is different. Who else? Somebody over here, there was at least 2 balls went over here. Who has a ball? Now everybody's got their hands down. Okay, I know you. Which generation are you from? Oh, baby boomer. Okay, are there any one of these that are wrong about you? You see work as, you don't see work as central. Congratulations, that work-life balance is very important to you. Are there any of the other ones that are accurate? Which ones? Question authority. So you question authority. Anything else? Quite a lot. Well, you don't have to go into them. I think your boss might be here. So the whole point of this activity, and please, you can keep the balls, even those of you that didn't say you got one. The whole point of this is we all know that these are true about the different generations. Yet when we start talking to individuals, we find out that they're not true. They are inaccurate. Even, and this happened in Singapore last week, the first gentleman, everything was true. Not good for a live demonstration. Fortunately, 6 or 7 of the other things were also true of him. So just because somebody is of a generation does not mean that all of these things apply. Therefore, stereotyping doesn't work because it's not accurate. Next slide. Now, I'm very impressed because in Singapore, when I put this slide up, everybody got their phone out and they took a photograph of it. And it's a trend I'm seeing a lot of. We actually give the slides away. I'll talk about that in a little while. You can have a copy of the slides, no need of photographs. But these are some questions that you need to be asking yourself, that your organization needs to be asking itself. Do people make comments or suggestions about people based on their age? I used to have a wonderful office manager. She was excellent. She's left the company. She retired. But she was of a certain generation, and all she talked about was these young people never giving any respect. And she was going to have to scold them. That told me that there was some age-related stereotyping going on, because some of the people she was complaining about were actually very hard-working. Had nothing to do with their youth. Multi-generational teams struggle to complete their work. I actually worked with a Fortune 500 technology company out of California. And when I was talking to them about age-related diversity, I said, so how many multi-generational work teams do you have? And they said, no. I said, pardon? They said, no. Sorry, I said, did you say you don't have any? And they said, no. I said, oh, so, and this was a major corporation. Everybody on their cross-functional teams was of a certain generation. Not even 2 generations, just 1 generation. And you lose the diversity, that different perspective that the different educational levels bring, different life experiences bring. You know, when you're used to traveling business class and staying in 5-star hotels, you might think that roughing it, well, to your point, Bill, when was the last time you went 3 days without a shower? That kind of experience teaches you something when you're defining a customer experience, when you're defining something that you need different points of view. So you've got to look for multi-generational teams. Do they struggle to complete their work? If you have any multi-generational teams. I'm not going to read all of them. One of them, and it's let's have a look. Number 5, older workers often express the desire to retire early. I worked in Chicago, Illinois for 4 years. I worked with a group of people who were fantastic, but all of the older employees talked about retiring early because they couldn't handle all these kids coming in and working in their department. There was a lot of age-related issues going on there. And if that's just your frontliners, look at the questions for your managers. And this is interesting, because you all attended this session. We went from a potential of 500 delegates to 700 delegates because managing Generation Y was such a hot topic. If you believe you need special training to lead other generations, chances are there's age-related stereotyping going on inside your company. And we need to address that. You need to address that. Number 10, usually hire only within certain generations. I didn't know that 35% of the workforce in Taiwan is now Gen Y. That's probably less pertinent of a question, but it's amazing how many other countries managers will just look for people of a certain age. I actually had to talk to our manager, and some of my colleagues are here, about the profile of people he was hiring for certain jobs because we didn't have anybody of a very young age in the organization. It's a bit of a shock for him when I pointed it out. And happily, this research came along and I was able to justify my opinion. So I'm just going to pull this together as we get towards wrapping up. When you stereotype people, you only see a little bit of the total potential of the person. You only see the piece of the person that the stereotype allows you to believe. And just like when you've got a camera, you're only seeing a very narrow piece from the lens. When you look a bit further, you find that we actually share 4 major things. We all need respect. We all need to be competent. And this again goes to Bill's piece about being good at what you do and getting recognition for what you do. We like to have a level of mastery about what we do for a living. We like to be connected, and this goes to Bill's piece about networking. Self-determination theory, which is a very popular theory coming out of the University of Rochester, talks about the need for relatedness, connectedness in this case. We like to be part of a team. We don't want to be working by ourselves. And then finally, we like autonomy. We like to be told what the goal is and then left the heck alone to get on with it. If you can satisfy those 4 basic conditions, you create an environment that every generation likes to work in, with all of the attendant advantages that a multi-generational workforce brings. I think I might have just done 2 there. No, there's only 1. That's a quick description. Usually at this point I say, oh, there's somebody taking a photograph there. That's just the definition for the 4. The easiest way to describe this, ladies and gentlemen, is imagine you went to work and you had a boss that said, you're stupid. You're so stupid, you're not going to be allowed to work with anybody else because I don't want you to make them stupid like you're stupid. Can you imagine that? And they said, you're going to work here in this cube by yourself, and I am going to tell you everything you're allowed to do and tell you what you're not allowed to do. I'm going to micromanage you. Now, if anybody has that job, it's time to leave. But if anybody had that job, I would be describing the job from hell, because it basically denies those 4 basic needs that we all share: respect, connectedness, autonomy, and capability, connection. So how do you overcome that? And this is the one where everybody's camera will be out. These are the ways you get past it. How do you leverage age diversity and turn it into an advantage, not a disadvantage? First of all, you have to challenge stereotypes, like I did with my boss and like I hope you do with people in your organization. If people make outlandish statements or incorrect statements about somebody's capability based on their age, you have to tell them that they're making a mistake. Now, we all have to find a polite way of doing that, but the first step is to challenge those assertions. If somebody is stupid because they're still so young, wrong. If somebody is slow because they're old, wrong. You have to challenge that. The next is you have to find the common ground. Find out what it is that people like to do, that they have in common. That will build bridges, not create gaps. Next is finding the talents in everyone. Some people are brilliant in front of customers. Put them in a customer-facing position. Other people are really great at process. Don't put them in front of customers. Put them in a process-related spot. Find the talents in everyone. Make the most of it. In terms of mixing it up, you've got to encourage people to do lots of different things, get lots of different inputs. With those different inputs come diversity, and with diversity comes high level of engagement, higher levels of productivity, higher levels of intrinsic satisfaction, things that you can't pay for, but that you can create the ground conditions for. And then finally, expect a lot. Expect a lot surprised me when I first saw this. But when I think about it, it makes sense. I'm sure Bill's organization, McKinsey, will do this. They never say, okay, this is how much we want you to perform at. They set the bar up here. You set the bar high to make sure that everybody is stretching and striving. Because if they have that autonomy, if they have that sense of connectedness, if they have that sense of capability, that they're good at what they do, and you set the bar here, they strive for higher and higher levels of performance. If you set it down here, you actually switch them off. Funny that, isn't it? Time for a photograph. These are the definitions. Challenge stereotypes, find common ground, find the talents in everyone, mix it up, and expect a lot. Now, right back at the beginning when I showed you that word cloud, I told you that I was going to talk about a series of common sense, everyday ideas, but put together in a different way. Chances are, all of these different things you have been taught throughout your life. Maybe by parents, by friends, by family, in college and in school, maybe even in your workplace. But if you do those things, our research shows you get the most out of the people. They strive harder. And again, Bill talked about retention. If you create this kind of environment, people want to come and work for you because their friends are going to work. La, 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 la. They skip to work every day. They're not, oh, I've got to go back to the office again. Oh my. They actually want to go to work, and that's the best advertising you can buy, is the people who work there love working there. I'm sorry. Very exciting. One last slide. We're going to have a table outside. We're not going to give the research report away in hard copy form. We've made a commitment to reduce our carbon footprint this year, so it'll be available for download or email should you require a copy. I'm conducting research on motivation. There's a little link there to a traditional Chinese version of that survey. I would love for you to take the time. You might even win an iPad too. But let me find out what motivates you. And then maybe even follow us on Twitter. My name is Andrew Calvert. I've enjoyed talking to you so much. Thank you.